You have to have, ultimately, life come from non-life. Now, often the creationist is berated for saying, well, you believe things that you haven't seen. You ever met anybody who said, I've seen life come from non-life? Never seen a person do it, but it's presented in every one of your first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade books as a scientific fact, and it's nothing of the sort. One of the reasons that you can't get the human body is because you can't even get the first cell from non-life.
This is disingenuous at best. Why do I say it's disingenuous at best? The reason why I say this is because when you listen to this man, he is saying that it is impossible for life to come from non-life. And to that, I would agree. But what the problem here in his statement of saying that, well, when have you ever seen life come from non-life? Well, you've never seen that. And you never will see life come from non-life. Because the truth of the matter is, there's no such thing as non-life. Now, many people will look at this cup. Is this cup alive? And most people will say, no, the cup is not alive. They will look at this torch. Is this torch alive? No, it's not alive. But is that true? Well, it depends on your definition of life. If you say that life has to be something that is sentient, so a worm is sentient. It's instinctive, but it's sentient. A bird is sentient. It is instinctive and have some levels of cognitions that are higher than the worm, but still sentient. Humans, of course, are sentient, and we have the ability of reasoning, which separates us from most other animals. I mean, elephants and gorillas have shown where they demonstrate emotions, and they are still considered to be lower forms of life than what humans are. So if humans are here on the form of life because of our ability to reason, dolphins and elephants and come here because they show emotion and they are sentient, but they're below us. And then birds and then worms. But wouldn't it continue? Wouldn't that thought process logically continue all the way down to the thermos? Because although the thermos doesn't have animal or insect levels of life, of sentientness, I don't even know if that's a word. I know licentiousness is a word, but sentientness, I don't know if that's a word. But they may not show the same levels of sentient behavior, even below that of a plant. You know, a tree, we would call a tree and say a tree has life, a plant has life, because it grows, it replicates itself. It shows that it responds to certain environments and certain energies. Talk well to a plant, and the plant seems to grow better. Speak evil to a plant, and the plant seems to, or negatively to a plant, and the plant seems not to grow as well. So it's showing a lower sign of life. Was it not proven that water, water or rice, when it is exposed to certain attitudes and energies, it responds in a certain way and creates certain patterns? Yes. Is that not life? So the fact that something vibrates at a much lower frequency and still shows that it responds to that vibration, is that not life in the fact that it responds? All the way down to the molecule, all the way down to the atom, all the way down to the protons, neutrons, and electrons. And it would even continue on down into the dark matter, which we are still exploring, which is the space, the material in between the protons and neutrons and electrons. There is still reactions to certain frequencies, certain vibrations, certain energies. It would be still life. Now, since everything in the universe that we know of is composed of energy, and there is no such thing as nothingness, then would there also be no such thing as non-life? Just because you have your scaled definition and you decide to stop here does not make that the truth. The scale continues infinitely. Just as the law of correspondence says, as above, so below, as within, so without. The law of correspondence is also saying that there are levels of consciousness, levels of existence, levels of life. If those levels go up, those levels go down. And as far as they go up is as far as they go down. So therefore, there is no such thing as non-life. All of existence is life. Think about that deeply. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.